Hi Math 7 students, make sure that you've got your Chapter 5 Lesson 7 template in front of you. This is Chapter 5 Lesson 7 and we're going to talk about subtracting linear expressions. The only difference between what we're going to do today and what you did before in Lesson 6 is first we're going to rewrite the subtraction and then we'll end up with an addition problem which you already know how to solve. So let's jump in. We've got our subtraction in between these two expressions in example 1. We're trying to take 6x minus or plus 3 minus 2x plus 2. And you'll notice there's parentheses around each of these expressions. So the first one is perfectly fine. We don't have any subtraction to rewrite. So I'm just going to copy that down in the next line. We're not going to alter anything there. In between, I want to make this an addition. But when I change subtraction to addition, I've got to make it the opposite. So I'm really taking the opposite of both of those things in parentheses. So what I'm really doing is I'm distributing a negative, or taking the opposite of each of these two things. So the opposite of 2x and the opposite of 2. So 6x plus 3 stays the same. Plus in between. Now I've got the opposite of 2x gives me negative 2x. And the opposite of 2 gives me a negative 2, pardon me. So what we're going to do now is we've got an addition problem. We're going to line it up just like we did in lesson 6. And 6x plus 3 plus negative 2x plus negative 2. Draw your line and add your like terms. So we're going to get 4x plus 1. And that's our final answer. Take a look at example 2. Again, we've got some subtraction going on, but we also have subtraction in the two original expressions. So let's rewrite that. So I've got 2x plus negative 3 plus the opposite of, I'm going to put a 1 on this x, plus negative 2. Now I'm going to draw my arrows coming from that subtraction sign in between. So I'm really taking the opposite of 1x and the opposite of negative 2. The first expression is going to stay the same, 2x plus negative 3, plus, now let's take the opposite. The opposite of 1x is negative 1x. The opposite of negative 2 is positive 2. And now what I'm going to do is line them up. So I'm going to put the first expression on the top, 2x plus negative 3 plus negative 1x plus 2. Draw your line. Negative 3 plus 2 is really like 3 minus 2, which is 1. And it's negative because the absolute value of the negative quantity is bigger. 2x plus negative 1x is 1x. So you could write 1x plus negative 1 as your answer, or you could also tell me x plus negative 1. For example 3, we have subtraction I need to change in the first set of parentheses. So I'm going to make that plus negative 4 plus the opposite of 2x. We're going to distribute just the negative to the 2x. So the first set of parentheses stays the same, negative 2x plus negative 4, plus the opposite of 2x is negative 2x. Now you'll notice we don't have a constant being added to the 2x. You could add in a 0 if you want, but when you line them up, negative 2x plus negative 4 plus negative 2x, you're not going to have anything underneath the plus negative 4, so you could add in the 0 there at that point as well. Negative 4 plus 0 is negative 4. Negative 2x plus negative 2x is negative 4x. And that's your final answer. Try example 4 on your own, and then we'll check our answer. The correct answer for example 4 should be 3x plus 4. And if you didn't get that originally on your own, make sure you go back and check your work. I've shown it in all those lines above. Now you're going to try to find negative 4x minus 7 minus the expression negative 5x minus 2. So try that one on your own, and then we'll come back and check our answers. So for example 5, you could have your answer two ways. You could have 1x plus negative 5 or x plus negative 5. So make sure you go back and check your work and make sure especially that you've got the correct distributive answer and that you've lined up your like terms and that you've got the correct answer. Example 6 says a hat store tracks the sale of college and professional hats for M months. The number of college hats sold is represented by 6M plus 3. The number of professional hats sold is represented by 5M minus 2. Write an expression to show how many more college hats were sold than professional hats. Then evaluate the expression if M equals 10. So what we want to do is we want to take, there are more college hats that were sold, so we're going to start with the expression for college hats. It's 6M plus 3. And I'm going to keep that in parentheses for now. And we are trying to find the difference here because we want to know how many more college hats were sold than professional hats. And so 5M minus 2 is our professional hats, and that goes in parentheses. And we're going to go ahead and rewrite the subtraction and distribute. So we've got 6M plus 3 does not change. We're going to take the opposite of 5M and the opposite of negative 2. So 6M plus 3 plus negative 5M plus positive 2. And we're going to line those up. So 3 plus 2 gives me 5. And 6M plus negative 5M gives me 1M, or just M. So that's the first part, that's our expression. And now what they're asking us to do is plug in M as 10. So into that expression, I'm going to plug in 10 for M. And that's going to give me a total of 15. So you're going to tell me 15 more college hats were sold.